Do you know who the richest man in Asia is? The answer may shock you. He is none other than Gautam Adani, who currently holds the position of the third richest person in the world. Do you know that Gautam Adani earned $62 billion in a year? Today, we at Big Money would like to share the story of a man who dreamed big and worked hard to make it a reality. The story follows a young man who, at 17, dropped out of college and boarded a train headed for Mumbai without any money, but carrying a trove of aspirational goals. After moving to Mumbai, Gautam Adani became a millionaire through his efforts within 3 years, when he was just 20 years old. This video will blow your mind with his extraordinary journey from a college dropout to a business tycoon. His story is remarkable and acts as a reminder of how anyone can achieve success regardless of the circumstances of one's birth. Unlike other business tycoons, Adani didn't inherit his wealth from his parents. Instead, he put in a lot of effort to change his life. Gautam Adani's success story shows that he had a strong will and good business sense, and worked hard to build his stairway to success. Gautam Adani was born in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India, on June 24, 1962, and was one of 7 children. His family was in the business of making clothes. From a young age, he had goals and was determined to reach them. He didn't care much about school, so he quit as a teenager. He later went to Gujarat University, but didn't finish his degree there. Even though he liked business, he didn't want to join his father's textile business. When he was 18, he moved from Ahmedabad to Mumbai to start his own business. The young man only had a few hundred rupees, but he was determined to get rich. He started as a diamond sorter at Mahindra Brothers. After a few years, he started his own diamond brokerage business. His business did well. By the time he was 20, he had made $1 million. At this time, his older brother had just bought a plastic factory in Ahmedabad and asked Gautam Adani to help him run it. Adani went back to Ahmedabad, where he began working with his brother. Soon after, he started trading commodities by bringing in polyvinyl chloride, PVC, a key raw material for making plastic. He made a deal to bring in PVC while in South Korea, where he also did business. He set up Adani Exports Limited in 1988, now known as Adani Enterprises Limited. At first, the company traded in agricultural goods and power, but as time went on, it grew. The economic reforms and liberalizations in 1991 helped Adani's business and made his company more money. As a result, Adani grew his business quickly because the business climate was good. The government of Gujarat asked private companies in 1993 to run the Mundra Port, and Adani won the contract in 1995. It was first run by Mundra Port and Special Economic Zone Limited, which later grew into Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, which is India's biggest private company and now runs more than one port. In 1996, Gautam Adani started Adani Power Limited, the power business branch of the Adani Group. The company is India's largest private power producer and also the country's largest solar power producer. The headquarters of the Adani Group, an Indian multinational company, is in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Gautam Adani started it in 1988 as a business that traded in goods. Its main company is called Adani Enterprises Limited. You must be curious about the family of the business tycoon. Gautam Adani married Priti Adani, and they now have 2 sons. Karan Adani is the older son, and Jeet Adani is the younger one. His wife Priti is a dentist. She helps him with his job as the Adani Foundation's managing trustee, especially in education. She works on several projects to help kids learn. For example, Karan Adani got his degree in economics from Purdue University in the United States. After he finished school, he went to work for his father's business. Karan was named CEO of Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone, APSEZ, on January 1, 2016. Since 2009, he has been in charge of building Adani ports all over India. Karan is in charge of the Adani Group in every way. He is in charge of the daily operations of the Adani Group. So, let's shed some light on the Adani Group and its other subsidiaries. India's third $200 billion conglomerate is Adani Group. Renewable energy, transmission, and municipal gas distribution are among its incubators. The corporation focuses on solar manufacturing, defences, airports, highways, and green enterprises. Adani Group's stock has gone up by more than 120% in just 1 month, and Adani Wilmar's stock has gone up by more than 87% in the same time frame. But why have stock prices gone up so much? Why? The Russia-Ukraine war has disrupted the sunflower oil supply. Therefore, consumers are switching to groundnut and mustard oils, soybean oil, and others. Indonesia, the world's largest palm oil producer and exporter, has to reduce exports to sustain local supply. As oil prices go up, Adani Wilmar has a great chance to make more money and be at the top of its industry this financial year. Now, let's look at what other Adani companies are doing. Adani Ports. One of the greenest port operations in the world, Adani Ports has handled 300 million tons of cargo across its network of 12 ports well before the end of the year. Adani Total Gas. It launched its first EV charging station in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, at ATGL's CNG station in Maninagar. This is its first step into the electric mobility infrastructure market. Adani Enterprises. AEL has said it will spend more than 55,000 crores on capital expenditures in the next few years. AEL will spend this money on new energy, airports and roads. Over the next 3 years, the company will put at least 14,000 crores into its airport business. Let's talk about the challenges Gautam Adani faced on his way to success. Gautam Adani, chairman of Adani Group, has faced numerous obstacles during his company's rapid 20-year development to become one of India's largest industrial conglomerates. However, the recent deluge of bad news has undermined his investors' faith. Adani, a native of Ratanpol, Gujarat, whose rise is one of the country's most remarkable tales of rags to riches, is under attack on numerous fronts. Former Supreme Court Judge and Karnataka Lokayukta Santosh Hegde recently made severe remarks regarding the group's alleged unlawful iron ore mining. However, the group's major power project in Maharashtra is currently on hold, awaiting coal allocation after Coalgate. Currently, the Central Bureau of Investigation is investigating the case. Then, in mid-October, the Congress-led central government cancelled Adani's 1,840-hectare allotment in a landlocked Special Economic Zone, SEZ, in Mundra for suspected violations of SEZ norms. Greenpeace, an international group that fights for the environment, is angry about its Australian mining projects. So, Adani's investors are not in a good mood. As of January of this year, the group's listed companies, led by Adani Enterprises, have lost between 14 and 24% of their value, and the group's debt has reached a staggering 70,000 crores. Adani had the shame of falling down the Forbes billionaires list, just like Vijay Mallya and other unfortunate business leaders. So, what could have gone wrong for Adani so quickly? The group tried to do too much and took the riskiest mining bets. That includes the huge investment of $2 billion in Australia. Also, there were always problems with how Gautam Adani ran the group, says a banker who asked to remain anonymous. The group's future will depend on how well Adani can lower his leverage, he said. Business Standards tried to talk to Adani, but they were not available. In an email statement, the group said these roadblocks did not stop them from growing. Adani Group is India's largest private infrastructure company. It has spent close to 150,000 crores and put in a lot of time and effort to build world-class infrastructure assets in the resources, logistics, and energy sectors, it said. So now, I would like to talk about the current difficulties of Gautam Adani. Credit Sites, a unit of Fitch Group, said on Tuesday that Gautam Adani's ports to power to cement conglomerate is deeply over-leveraged. This is because the group mostly uses debt to invest aggressively in new and old businesses. Credit Sites said in a report called Adani Group Deeply Over-Leveraged that, in the worst-case scenario, overly ambitious growth plans financed by debt could end up in a massive debt trap, which could lead to a distressing situation or the default of one or more group companies. In the late 1980s, the Adani Group began as a trader of commodities. Since then, it has expanded into mines, ports, power plants, airports, data centers, and defense. It recently got into the cement business when it bought Holcim's India units for $10.5 billion. It also started making aluminium. Most of this growth has been paid for by taking on debt. You might be wondering about the net worth of Gautam Adani. Forbes says that Gautam Adani, the head of the Adani Group, had a net worth of just over $80 billion as of January 4, 2022. On November 24, 2021, Adani was briefly the richest person in Asia. His net worth was $89.1 billion, more than RIL's Mukesh Ambani's. The 59-year-old is number 14 on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index and number 24 on the Forbes Billionaires List 2021. Here are some surprising facts about Gautam Adani. During the terrible events of 26/11, Gautam Adani was a hostage in the Taj Hotel. Adani and some of the other hostages were hiding in the hotel's basement. The next morning, he and the other people who had been taken hostage were freed by NSG commandos. Gautam Adani quit his second year of BCom and moved to Mumbai. He worked in Zaveri Bazaar as a person who sorted diamonds. Gautam Adani went to Kandla Port on a school trip when he was young. He was amazed by the huge port, and he promised himself that when he grew up, he would build one just like it. In 1988, when he won the bids to build and run the Mundra port, he kept his promise. He grew the Mundra port to become India's largest cargo port. Gautam Adani has always been known for trying out new and popular businesses. Adani has been able to break into the business of making and distributing electricity. Adani Power is now the largest private company in India that generates electricity. Adani Group also runs more airports than any other company on the peninsula. Gautam Adani once said, "There are two turning points in my life. One in 1985, when the government relaxed import norms under Open General License, OGL, for actual users. I began imports of raw materials, polymers, and entered trading. The second turning point came in 1995, when we decided to get into the port sector as part of the group's overall strategy to get into asset building." To wrap up this amazing story of success, Gautam Adani's life is a lesson for all of us. Gautam's path to the top wasn't easy if we look at his life. Adani climbed up the ladder to reach billionaire status on his own. And, like everyone else, he had to work hard to get where he is now. But he was also a visionary who learned early on to take advantage of chances when they came along. Gautam Adani is not only a wealthy businessman, but he also helps people in need. His success can be attributed to his business sense and ability to think ahead. He once said his motto is to keep trying and not focus too much on the result. Growth with goodness, as it says on the website of the Adani Group, is the way forward for his business. That's it for the day. We hope this success story will positively affect your career and inspire you to reach success. Feel free to share your success story in the comment section and subscribe to Big Money to be the first to view our future content. Thank you.